The Moonlight Sonata. Ludwig van Beethoven was one of the greatest German composers. In fact, many people consider him the greatest composer that the world has ever known. One moonlit evening in spring, a friend came to "Come, let us walk together in the moonlight, visit Beethoven," he said. The two friends strolled through the streets of Vienna. While passing through a dark, narrow street, Beethoven suddenly paused in front of a small cottage. "Hush," he said. "What sound is that?" "It is from my sonata in F. Listen, how well it is played." The music went on. Almost at the end of the beautiful sonata, the music ceased and low sobs were heard instead. A girl's soft voice said, "I cannot go any further. It is too beautiful. I don't have the power to play it as it should be played. Oh, how I wish I could go to one of Beethoven's concerts." "Ah, my sister," said another voice, "why wish for something you cannot have? We can barely pay our rent." "You are right," answered the girl, "and yet I wish for once in my life to hear some really good music." Beethoven looked at his friend. "Let us go in," he said. "Go in? Why should we go in?" "I will play for her," said the master, in a low tone. "This girl has the soul of a musician. I will play for her, and she will understand." When the two friends entered the room, they saw a pale young man sitting by a table, making shoes. Near him sat a young girl. She was leaning sorrowfully upon an old-fashioned harpsichord. Both the young man and the girl were startled and turned towards the door when the strangers entered the room. Ludwig van Beethoven, say Ludwig van Beethoven. Composers, people who write music sonata, a piece of music usually divided into 3 or 4 parts which are played at different speeds. F. A musical note. Ceased, stopped. Harpsichord, an old type of musical instrument similar to a piano, but with strings that are pulled, not hit. "Excuse me," said Beethoven, "but I heard the music and was tempted to enter. I am a musician." The girl blushed, and the young man appeared annoyed. "I also heard something of what you said," continued Beethoven. "Shall I play for you? Shall I give you a concert?" Beethoven's manner was so friendly and his voice so kind that a smile took the place of the frown on the young man's face. "Thank you," he said, "but our harpsichord is of a very poor quality and we have no music." "No music," said Beethoven, surprised. "How then does the young lady play so?" He stopped suddenly, for the girl turned her face towards him, and for the first time he noticed that she was completely blind. "I beg your pardon," he stammered, "but I had not noticed before." "Then you play by ear?" "Yes, entirely," the girl answered. "And where do you hear music, since you attend no concerts?" asked Beethoven. "I used to hear a lady practicing near us. During summer evenings, her windows were often open and I walked to and fro outside to listen." Beethoven said no more. He seated himself quietly before the harpsichord and began to play. Blushed. Her face became red because she was embarrassed. "I beg your pardon," used to say sorry to someone. Play by ear. To play music by remembering how it sounds rather than by reading music sheets. Never before had Beethoven played as he played that night for the young girl who could not see. From the moment that his fingers touched the keys, the very tone of the instrument seemed to grow sweeter. The brother and sister were silent with wonder. The young man laid aside his work and the girl sat perfectly still. She leaned forward a little so that she would not miss a single note of the sweet music. Suddenly the flame of the candle wavered, sank, flickered and went out. Beethoven paused. His friend rose quietly and threw open the shutters. Soft moonlight filled the room, so that it was almost as bright as before. The moonbeams fell brightest upon the harpsichord and the player. After the music stopped, the young man arose. Eagerly, yet timidly, he approached the musician. "Wonderful," he said in a low tone. "Who are you?" One of the composer's rare smiles flitted across his face. "Listen," he said, and with a master's touch he played the opening bars of his own sonata in F. The girl immediately understood that no one but the composer of the music could have played it so well. "You are Beethoven," she exclaimed. Beethoven rose to go, but they begged him to stay. "Play to us once more, only once more." He again seated himself at the harpsichord. The moon shone brightly through the window. Looking up thoughtfully at the sky and stars, he said, "I will compose a sonata to the moonlight." Touching the keys lightly, he began to play a sad and lovely melody. The music filled the room as gently as the soft moonlight creeps over the dark earth. Wavered, became weak and unsteady. Flickered, kept going on and off as it burned. Timidly, shyly, flitted. Here, he smiled lightly and quickly. Then the time changed. The music became brighter and more rapid. No one seemed to see the moon gliding through the clouds. Instead, one thought of sprites and fairies dancing merrily together. Once again the music changed. The notes were as rapid as before, but they seemed fraught with sadness. It was music that filled the heart with wonder. "Farewell to you," said Beethoven, pushing back his chair when he was done and turning towards the door. "Will you come again?" said the brother and sister, in one breath. He paused and looked tenderly at the girl. "Yes, yes," he said, "I will come again. And give you some lessons. Farewell, I will come again soon." "Let us hasten home," said Beethoven to his friend. "I must write out that sonata while the music is still in my mind." When they reached home, Beethoven seated himself at once and began to write. He worked until daybreak. When he had finished, he had written the Moonlight Sonata. From Stories of Great Musicians by Catherine Lois Corbet and Olive Brownhorn. Sprites. In stories, small creatures with magic powers. Fraught with, filled with usually, something unpleasant. Comprehension. A. Answer these questions. 1. What happened when Beethoven and his friend were strolling through the streets of Vienna? Answer. On a moonlit evening in spring, while strolling through the streets of Vienna, Ludwig van Beethoven and his friend came across a small cottage in a dark and narrow street. Hearing music from the cottage, he recognized that it was his own composition. It was his sonata in F that was being played. He was impressed and appreciated the way in which it was played and stopped in front of the cottage. 2. What made Beethoven decide to go into the cottage? Answer. Beethoven was moved by the melodious way in which his composition was being played by the girl inside the cottage. However, the music was soon replaced by low sobs. The girl playing it lamented the fact that she would not be able to play it any further since she could not play it the way it should be played. Addressing her brother, she spoke about how she wished to attend one of Beethoven's concerts and hear some good music. Beethoven and his friend overheard their conversation, and the former recognized the soul of a musician in her. Hence, Beethoven decided to play for her and entered the cottage. 3. How did the young girl learn to play music? Answer. The girl, who was visually impaired, was a self-taught musician. She learned music by listening to the lady who practiced during summer evenings. The girl moved to and fro outside her window in order to be able to hear the music and remembered it. She practiced on their harpsichord. 4. How did the young man's behavior change during the course of the evening? Answer. Initially when Beethoven entered their cottage, the young man, who was the girl's brother, was annoyed by the sudden entry of the stranger. However, Beethoven's behavior was so friendly and his voice so kind that his initial frown was soon replaced by a smile. He laid aside his work and sat down to hear the music. Filled with wonder, he asked about the musician's identity. Upon learning that he was the famous musician Beethoven, he requested him to visit again. 5. Why did Beethoven leave soon after he stopped playing? Answer. Beethoven left soon after he finished playing music for the siblings. He wanted to reach home as soon as possible in order to write down the sonata while the music was still in his mind. 6. Why was this incident important in the life of Beethoven? Answer. This incident was important in Beethoven's life because this was the night he composed the Moonlight Sonata, which is a piano sonata and is acclaimed as one of his best compositions. B. Answer the questions with reference to the context. 1. I cannot go any further. It is too beautiful. I don't have the power to play it as it should be played. A. Who said these words and to whom? Answer. The young girl in the cottage said these words to her brother. B. What did the speaker wish for? Answer. The speaker wished that she could attend one of Beethoven's concerts and listen to some good music. C. How did the speaker's wish come true? Answer. Beethoven was passing by the speaker's cottage and overheard her wish to attend one of his concerts and he decided to play for her. In this way, the speaker's wish came true. 2. Thank you, he said, but our harpsichord is of a very poor quality and we have no music. A. Who is he? Answer. He refers to the young man, who was the girl's brother. B. Why does he say this? Answer. The young man said this because he knew that their harpsichord was of a very poor quality and they had no music sheets. C. Why didn't they have any music sheets? Answer. They did not have any music sheets since the girl was visually impaired and could not play using the music sheets. 3. It was music that filled the heart with wonder. A. What does this line refer to? Answer. When Beethoven played for the siblings, his composition was musical as well as tinged with a certain degree of sadness. It appealed to his listeners who were amazed and no one seemed to notice the moon gliding through the clouds. B. How did the music change just before this? The music that Beethoven played just before this had the same rapid notes but it was tinged with sadness and no longer possessed the quality of merriment. C. How can music fill the heart with wonder? Answer. The music that was played earlier evoked thoughts about fairies and sprites. The listeners became completely absorbed by the music played by the musician. They were filled with wonder and the harmonious notes appealed to them almost instantly. C. Think and answer. 1. We can almost feel and hear the music when we read the text. Explain how the author has achieved this effect with examples from the text. Suggested answers. Accept any logical answer. 1. In the opening section of the chapter, our perception of the music is already conditioned as the girl says that the sonata is too beautiful. When Beethoven plays the music for the brother and sister, they sat perfectly still so that they would not miss a single note of the sweet music. While Beethoven played his sonata to the moonlight, the music filled the room. The music almost filled the heart with wonder. The narrator makes the reader almost feel and hear Beethoven's music being played by the composer himself. Though we cannot see him play, lines like, "Never before had Beethoven played as he played that night." From the moment that his fingers touched the keys, the very tone of the instrument seemed to grow sweeter. She leaned forward, so that she would not miss a single note of the sweet music, the music filled the room as gently as the soft moonlight creeps over the dark earth. Give life to the music in our imagination. 2. Listen to Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. Can you identify the various places where the music changes as indicated in the text? Talk to your partner about how the music makes you feel. Answer. Beethoven's famous Moonlight Sonata experimented with the usual form of the sonata. Beethoven played the sonata in his own unique way, where the initial part of the composition is slow, the middle part is not as slow, and the end part is faster. The first movement of the sonata has an almost dreamlike quality about it. The second part is also slow but is faster than the preceding sections. 3. What impression do you get of Beethoven as a person when you read the text? Answer. In the text, Beethoven seems to be a generous man with great creative intuition. He does not hesitate to fulfill the young girl's dream of listening to Beethoven play. His pleasant behavior even warmed the young man's heart and made him smile. He decided to compose a sonata to the moonlight, filling everyone's heart with music. The musician appears benevolent and kind. The text describes his manner as friendly. He is also appreciative of the music played by another and thus he encouraging. Grammar. Read these sentences. He rose to go, but they begged him to stay. I will come again and give you some lessons. The words in color are personal pronouns. They refer to a person, thing or group. Subject pronouns. I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Object pronouns. Me, you, him, her, it, us, them. Personal pronouns in the subject form are used in place of nouns as the subject of the verb in sentences or clauses. In the object form, they are used to refer to the object of the verb. I gave her a book. I equals subject, her equals object. Personal pronouns are classified as first, second and third person. First person right pointing arrow 1, me, we, us refers to the person s speaking. Second person you refers to the persons addressed or spoken to. Third person he, him, she, her, it, they, them refers to the person s spoken about. Rewrite these sentences using personal pronouns in place of the words in color. 1. Mother asked me to water the plants. Answer. She asked me to water them. 2. We should ask Paul if he has seen Kavita. Answer. We should ask him if she has seen her. 3. Sarah and I are going to the market. Answer. We are going to the market. 4. The girls have not been taught how to do this work. Answer. They have not been taught how to do it. 5. Ravi and you should work harder. Answer. You should work harder. 6. Ms. Jane told Rishi and me to participate in the quiz. Answer. She told us to participate in the quiz. 7. Ali and Adil carried the suitcase up the stairs. Answer. They carried it up the stairs. 8. The receptionist asked the visitors to wait for a while. Answer. She asked them to wait for a while. B. Complete these sentences with the correct pronouns. 1. Does she underscore blank her she know that blank me I was absent yesterday? Answer. She, I. 2. Please tell blank he him that underscore blank me I have submitted my assignment. Answer. Him, I. 3. I remember blank they them bought the fruits from blank we us. Answer. They us. 4. Please don't tell blank they them that you heard the news from blank I me. Answer. Them me. 5. My uncle works in a factory. Blank he him says that blank them it is a noisy place. Answer. Eat it. 6. There is too much food on your plate. Blank. You him will not be able to finish them it. Answer. You, it. Vocabulary. Read this sentence. I walk to and fro outside to listen. To and fro means backwards and forwards. This is a binomial expression. A binomial expression is a pair of words that are always used together in the same order and has a fixed meaning. A binomial expression usually has two words joined by a conjunction such as and, or, and so on. Rewrite these sentences by replacing the words in color with the correct expressions from the box. Wear and tear to and fro. Far and wide now and then. Pros and cons spick and span. 1. The detective searched over a large area for the missing statue. The detective searched far and wide for the missing statue. 2. The house was thoroughly cleaned by the time the guests arrived. Answer. The house was spick and span by the time the guests arrived. 3. Rajat has considered the advantages and disadvantages of living in a big city. Answer. Rajat has considered the pros and cons of living in a big city. 4. I watch a film with my friends occasionally. Answer. I watch a film with my friends now and then. 5. The pendulum of the grandfather clock swings backwards and forwards. Answer. The pendulum of the clock swings to and fro. 6. A man's scooter is quite old and shows signs of damage caused by long use. Answer. A man's scooter is quite old and shows signs of wear and tear. Listening. Listen to a conversation between Preeti and her mother. As you listen, choose the correct answers. Read the options before you listen. 1. Preeti and her mother are talking about A. Guitar lessons. B. Piano lessons. C. Piano concerts. D. Violin concerts. Answer. A. 2. We know that Preeti enjoys piano music because she has been listening to A. Neha play. B. Piano concerts. C. Neha's teacher play. D. A and B. Answer. D. 3. Preeti thinks that she can play the piano. A. Better than the violin. B. Not as easily as the violin. C. As easily as the violin. D. Better than Neha. Answer. B. 4. Mother thinks that Preeti should A. Forget about piano lessons. B. Take up violin lessons first. C. Attend violin concerts. D. Take up piano lessons. Answer. B. 5. Mother thinks that Preeti can maintain a violin. A. More easily than a piano. B. Not as easily as a piano. C. With difficulty. D. Only with great effort. Answer. A. 6. Which of these statements is true? A. Mother supports Preeti in learning a musical instrument. B. Preeti loves to play the piano. C. Preeti wants to play the piano because of Neha. D. Mother does not want to buy Preeti a piano. Answer. A. Speaking. Read this sentence. Oh, how I wish I could go to one of Beethoven's concerts. In this sentence, the young girl is expressing a wish to go to a Beethoven concert. We can understand that she is quite eager to do this. Here are some ways to express wishes. I wish I were a colorful butterfly. I would love to learn how to swim. Work in pairs. Take turns to express your wishes and talk about answers vary. Sample answers. 1. The things you would do if you went to a fair. Answer. I wish I could buy the dolls from the fair. Oh, how I wish I could enjoy all the rides. 2. An imaginary place that you would like to visit. Answer. I would love to visit Middle-earth. I wish I could go to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. 3. What you would like to do during the holidays. Answer. Oh, I wish I could go trekking with my friends during the holidays. I wish I could read the Enid Blyton series during the holidays. Spelling. Complete these words with ch or tch. 1. Attach. 7. Bunch. 2. Watch. 8. Stretch. 3. Hatch. 9. Switch. 4. Batch. 10. Search. 5. Sandwich. 11. Snack. 6. Catch. 12. Poach. Writing. Imagine that you are the young girl. Describe what happened the night you met Beethoven in 3 paragraphs. You can talk about how 2 men entered your cottage when you were playing music, how Beethoven played music for you and your brother, the experience of hearing Beethoven play, your thoughts after the great musician left your cottage. Answers vary. Sample answer. I was playing Beethoven's sonata in F on our old harpsichord. I could not continue playing because the music was too beautiful. I was deeply moved and wished with all my heart to go to one of Beethoven's concerts. Suddenly, 2 gentlemen entered the room and I was taken aback. They were complete strangers. My brother was annoyed by their sudden appearance. One of them offered to play for me. I gave my consent, and as soon as he started playing on our old instrument, it was so melodious that both of us were moved. We could hardly imagine that Beethoven himself would be so humble and would offer to play for us. I was delighted to hear some good music, and finally my wish of going to one of his concerts came true. He played another piece which he dedicated to the moonlight. The music surpassed all description. We listened to him in amazement. After he left our house, I realized that it was his humility that earned him so much respect. Pronunciation. Look at these words. Spring, stroll, street. When there are 2 or 3 consonants in a sequence, as in the word spring, stroll and street, some people put a vowel before the first S. We should not do this. A. Listen and repeat. Species, special, spare, spy, spine, spiral, spent, spool, spell, spare, spot, sports. B. Listen and repeat. Spread, square, string, scream, sprint, squeeze, strip, stranger, stroll, spray, straight, scrap. C. Listen and repeat. A string instrument. Spread the cheese. Special sports. Strange species. Stroll and sprint.